Een hele goede morgen allemaal. Welkom bij het webinar waarbij we kijken naar het optimaliseren van magazijnprocessen met mobile WMS van Tasklet Factory. Een van de add-ons die wij inzetten bij klanten om de magazijnprocessen te automatiseren. Even aangaande dit webinar een aantal huisregels. Het zal ongeveer 30 minuten duren, dus kort maar krachtig. Vragen kunnen via de chat worden gesteld. En we zullen deze gedurende het webinar of aan het einde van het webinar behandelen. Bliss ga ik zelf niet introduceren. Volgens mij zijn er best wel veel klanten van Bliss in het webinar. Dus ik zal daar niet te lang bij stilstaan. Maar ik zou graag wel kort een introductie vragen van Martin Seurissen van Tasklet Factory, die met jullie de inhoud in zal gaan. Dan zou ik graag eigenlijk het woord willen geven aan Martin. Welcome Martin. The webinar is in English, so take it away.
Thank you very much, Nikki, and thank you all for signing in for this webinar. Today we're going to show you how to use a mobile WMS solution in your warehouse in order for you guys to optimize the processes there and make your life a little bit easier in the warehouse having a solution like the Tasklet Factory solution. We have a few slides that we're going to show you to begin with, and then I'll of course also will show you a live demo of the application so you can see how it works in real life as well. But let's go in and just show you, set the stage and what this all is about. Just to be sure, Nikki, are you seeing my screen now with the warehouse?
Yes, I do.
Excellent. So we are on the right page here. So what you see here is the main warehouse processes that you have in the warehouse. And this is what is covered by a Tasklet Factory solution. So it's everything from receiving, put away, of course, picking the orders, moving around with the items in the warehouse, and actually finally pack and ship, which we will cover in this session as well, where you have the possibility from on the handheld device to type in volume, the kilos of the package, and then print out a freight label if you want to do that. So those things are the things that we're going to cover today. We briefly want to touch base on assembly and production, but if you want to see more details of that, please reach out to Bliss Software afterwards, and then we can set up a session where you can see some more details around that. This is a very focused session that is for like half an hour. So we're focusing on, getting stuff into the warehouse, picking them and sending them out to the customers. So this is what is on the agenda for today. If we look at the next page here, brief introduction to Tasklet Factory. We have been doing this since 2008. What we do is to develop this app or extension for Business Central, or NAV for that matter as well. And then we work closely together with the partners like Bliss Software in order to set up the solution. We have more than 1,300 customers running our solution, so you will not be the first one running it. It's been in the market for many years and many customers is using it. An important aspect of a solution is of course also the hardware. We don't go into details with that today, but we have like 25, 30 different scanners, tablets from Zebra, Honeywell, and Datalogic that is supported by Tasklet. And it has to be one of those that you choose for your Tasklet solution. So you cannot just buy a cheap scanner out of China and hope it will work, because it won't work. So it's important to mention that. And if you at some point are interested in Tasklet, let's have a talk about your hardware requirements to cover them. Great. What we meet at customers and the reason why they go for a mobile WMS solution is, as mentioned in the beginning, to optimize the processes in the warehouse. Reduce the number of errors using barcodes to validate exactly the correct items that you're receiving, but also the correct items that you're sending to the customers. So having barcodes on your items is something that will improve efficiency a lot in the warehouse. What we try to do at Tasklet is to make a solution that is really user-friendly, meaning that most of our clients might not be experts in Business Central, but still they can operate a handheld solution from Tasklet. So it's really user-friendly solution to use. So with a little introduction, people normally can start using it straight away. Our solution is an extension. It is an app for Business Central, meaning that it's quite easy to set up once Business Central has set up to support your processes. So it's an easy and quick installation of Tasklet. What I'll show you today is our standard. However, our solution can also be customized. So if you have some processes that doesn't fit perfectly into your daily life, then the solution can be customized as well. The rule of thumb is that it has to be possible to do it in Business Central or NAV before you can do it on Tasklet as well. Then in Tasklet, we have the capability of running our solution both online and offline. This means that if you have spots in your warehouse that is not fully covered by Wi-Fi, you can still run the solution. You don't lose data, you don't need to start all over again. You can running, for instance, like a receive or a pick offline as well. However, it is quite important that you are online, of course, when you want to post the documents in BC. So that's important to be online at that stage, but you can run a lot of stuff offline as well. If you ask our customers and our partners what they like with Tasklet, besides we have a fantastic product, is the support. If you go into a project with this, like Tasklet with Bliss, they are not on their own. We are still here to support them in case they need it. We have a huge experience with plus 1,300 customers. So if there's any demand from your side that needs our help as well, we're here to support and make a project successful. So that's also really important for us to mention. Great. A lot of talk about slides. Of course, we want to see the application as well. But just before going into the application, I really want to highlight something around barcodes, because barcodes is an essential part of course, a scanning solution. It doesn't mean that you cannot use the solution without barcodes. But if you don't have barcodes, you're missing out on the validation part, which is, I think, it's quite important for our customers. We support both classic 1D barcodes that you see on top with the chocolate, but we also support the data matrix barcodes that you see here on the T, which is used especially if you're using any kind of item tracking, for instance, lot number, expiration date, or serial number, because this barcode can include data, multiple data. So in one scan, you can do the registration of the item, the expiration date, and the lot number. So it just makes your life easier if you have barcodes like that. It's also important to mention that if you're planning to using bins, positions within the warehouse, we really recommend to have barcodes on those bins as well, because we want to validate that you're putting away the items to the correct bin and picking them from the correct bin. So having a barcode there, again, helps you with the validation. Again, it doesn't mean that if you don't have a barcode, you can still use the solution. You just have to type it in manually. And then you miss, of course, the whole point of validation. Great. Enough about the slides. Let's go into the demo mode. But I just need to share a new screen here, so I'll just do that in a sec. I'll just do this. And now you should be able to see my scanning device. Is that correct, Nikki, that you see the scanner right now?
Yeah, I see it.
Excellent. So what we'll do now is to give you a tour of the possibility and the functionalities available in Tasklet. So the user will see this as the login screen that they can go in and which you need to use it in order to log into the solution. So I'll log in now. And what you see here is basically all functionality available, but you can set up for each user that they can only have access to the functionality that he or she should have access to. So if I'm only working in the receive zone, I can remove all the icons that's not relevant for that person. But in this case, as mentioned, I have access for everything. So I'll start here in the top left corner with receive and go into this. Once an order has been created in Business Central or NAV and released to the handheld device, it will be available here. So here I have a total list of 11 orders, purchase orders or warehouse received, that is available on the scanner to be received. It could also be sales return orders or transfer orders if you're working with those in your company. We have a filter here in the top right corner. So I can filter through the orders, all the orders based on location, expected receive date, if you're working with PO numbers, but also if you assign orders to specific users, I could select that I only want to see my own orders, and then they will be available here on the handheld device. But in this case, I want to see all, and what we normally see customers do when they receive like a pallet or a container with items, they basically just scan the first items that you come across. So I scan the item, and then you can see here on the top, I've used the barcodes to filter through all the orders to see where is this item included. So in this scenario, it's included on 2 orders. And then, of course, I have to look at the delivery note to see who's actually the supplier for this. If it was only included in 1 order, I will here see the full list. It will go directly into the order, of course, but I'll here see the full list of items that I need to receive. So I have my item number, item description. If you have an image of the item on the item card, it will be shown here as well. And I can see the unit of measures that I need to receive. Then the warehouse worker decides himself in which order he want to receive it. So if the pistachio is on top, I'll just scan the pistachio. If all 15 is there, I'll just scan the next item, which is the marabou orange. And let's see, in this case, I didn't receive all 10 boxes, but only 5. Then I type 5 on the scanner. I can now see that I've made a registration of 5 out of the 10 boxes, and 15 out of 15 pieces of the pistachio. If I go to the next item, which is the peppermint tea, that is lot number control. So here I'm using the item tracking that you need to set up in Business Central. So the first thing I do is I scan my item, and then I need to set the expiration date, which of course I can change. So I'll do that here. And then I need to put in the lot number. I could either type it in manually or I could scan it. So here I'll scan it. 15 pieces. The last item that I need to receive from this pallet is my golf balls. So, and they are serial number control. So here we also have item tracking. So what I do now is I scan my golf ball, and then I need to put in the 3 unique serial numbers for these golf balls. So I do that, scan the first one, scan the second one, and scan the third one. And I actually noticed that I made a mistake here in the scanning. So what I can do is I can go here to my burger, and I can click here on the registrations. And then I can see the one on top is actually not a serial number. It's something wrong. So I can actually just delete this. And then I need to register a new unique serial number. So I need to do that. Just like this. Of course, I need to scan my item first, and then I scan my serial number. And then I've registered all the 3 serial numbers. Again, what you saw before, I go to registrations just to verify that it's all serial number that I've entered. So I have these 3 unique serial numbers. Great. So now everything on the pallet has been received. So now I could just go in and post things, but I just want to show you some more features that we have available here in the receive process. One of the used features is the attach image. So if I want to attach an image, if I receive something that is damaged or wrong, I can actually attach an image on the line. So here I'm standing on the marabou pistachio. If I click on the camera here in the bottom, click on the plus, then I activate the camera, and now I have my speaker next to me. So just take a picture of that. And then I can say this is wrong, it should be chocolate. So I'll type in wrong. Click on accept, the green check mark, and now you can see there's an attachment. So once I post this image will be available in Business Central as well. I also have the possibility to print out labels. So if I receive some items without labels, or a label is damaged, then I can print out these item labels as well. So in order to do that, I just need to click on the print icon in the bottom again. Select the size of label that I want to print, 3 times 2. It's 15 in the box, so I just put 15 outside the box, but I could also change it to 1 and print 1 label. This requires an additional license if you want to use our labels for this, so you just have to be aware of that. If you have already a label solution like Nice Label or Bartender or something else, you need to discuss with Bliss how to set that up for your convenience. Great. Once I've received everything, I go to my burger and I click on post. Then I'm asked to put in a delivery note number. This could be a process that you basically just skip if you don't need this information, but in this case I need it. So I type this in. And now I'm communicating with Business Central. So now the order is updated. All the lines that I have received is now updated in Business Central as well, leaving only back the ones that I didn't receive. So these 5 boxes, I haven't received them yet. It could be they'll be delivered tomorrow or the day after. If they're never going to be delivered to my warehouse, back office need to delete this. It's not something that you can delete from the handheld device. So this was the receive. What we see most of our customers do and their process is that first they receive the items, put them in the receive zone, and then afterwards they're putting them away into the warehouse. So we have split this up in a receive and a put away process. If you want to combine this, it's just a check mark in Business Central. Then you can do a direct put away, so you don't need to have it in 2 steps. But again, that's something that you need to discuss with Bliss, what fits you the best. So I'll go to my put away here, just to show you how you put away the items into the warehouse. I basically just need to scan the first item I have on my pallet that I need to do a put away on. So I scan that, and then I go directly into my put away order where this item is included. And now I can see where to put away the item. So the first line up here is where I need to put away my item to. It could either be a fixed bin where I need to put it, but it could also just be a recommendation. So you can actually put it somewhere else. This is something that you set up in Business Central, what you're allowed to do when you do putaways. But now I just want to show you how to do a put away of these Marlboro orange. So the first thing I do is I scan my item and I scan my bin where I'm putting it away to, and 5 pieces. I do the same thing with pistachio, put away to the bin. But let's assume I don't have room for all 15 in this bin. Then I can do a split put away if I'm allowed to do that in Business Central. So here I'm just putting 5 on this bin. Out of 5, it was actually 10. And the remaining 5 I'm putting somewhere else. So I scan again the item, and then I scan the new bin. And then it verifies, are you sure I want to place it somewhere else? Yes, I am. And 5 pieces on this bin. Again, as you saw before, I can go down to my burger, click on registrations. If I just want to verify what I'm about to do, that I'm putting 10 on the bin ending with number 1 and 5 on the bin ending with number 2. In this scenario, I don't want to put away the tea and the golf balls now, so I just conclude this with going to my burger, clicking on post. Yes. And now again, I've communicated with Business Central. The items are now put into my warehouse and ready for orders. So this is the simple way of using a handheld device to handle both receiving and put away. Then we have pick, and there's multiple ways of doing picks. You can pick order by order. You can pick many orders for the same customers at the same time, but also many different items for many different customers at the same time. We don't have time to show you all scenarios here, so we'll just show you some of the basic ones, and also how you can ship it using this handheld device. The most basic one is you basically just pick an order and place it in the shipment zone, and then arrange your shipment outside of the scanner. And the way you do that is that you, in this scenario, can see where to pick the item from and how many items that you need to pick for the customer. If you scan a wrong item, you get an error saying this is not the correct item. So I need to, of course, find the correct item and I need to send to my customer, which is the Marlboro pistachio. So I go to that, scan the bin, 5 pieces, do the similar thing with the tea, scan my tea, scan my bin, and then since this is item number tracked, I need to put in a lot number as well. It could also be a serial number, but in this case, it's a lot number. I could type it in manually, but I could also scan it like this, 5 pieces. And I completed this order, and it's now placed in the shipment zone, ready for shipment. So this is the most simple way of handling orders in the pick process in Tasklet. You can do the same thing for production orders and assembly orders. You can also use the pick process for that. What I want to show you as well is some of the new features that we added. The possibilities to use what we call license plate or pallet IDs, which is used when we want to do like a shipment from the handheld device as well. So this is another order. It's all shipment 9, so it's all going to the same customer. So what I need to do now is that I need to pick this, but I want to put it on 2 different pallets, and I want to monitor in Business Central afterwards which item is on each pallet. So in order to do that, I need to do an additional registration in my pick. So the first thing I do is I scan my pistachio again to verify that's the correct one. And then I need to scan the bin from where I'm taking it, which I also did the last time. So I scan that. But now I need to put in a tote number. A tote number is a container, a pallet, or a box, which you define. But in this scenario, let's just say it's a pallet ID. So I put these 3 pieces on a pallet called 501. 3 pieces. Then I have my T. So I scan my T. I scan my bin. And I scan my lot number. That's similar to what you saw before. But again, I'm asked to put it on a tote. So this tote, could it be the same pallet? If it is, I'll just click here on the next arrow here and 2 pieces. And now I'll put these 2 products on the same pallet. But these boxes for Marabou Orange is huge, so I need to create a new pallet for that. So what I'm going to do now is to pick the 2 boxes. Again, scan my item, scan the bin from where I'm taking these 2 boxes. And then I need to create a new tote, a new pallet ID, which is 502. So I put that in. Then the system asks, are you sure you want to create a new tote? Yes, I am. 2 pieces. And now I have picked this, placed it in the shipment zone, and placed it on 2 pallets where I can see the ID afterwards in Business Central. Now I want to ship this. So I go to my pack and ship functionality here. So this order that I just picked is the one on top, which consists of 2 sales orders, but for the same customer. It was shipment number 9. So I just go into this, and here I have these 2 pallets, 501 and 502. These I want to register, so I put in some information that DHL needs in order to print out a shipping label as well. In order to handle this, it actually requires that you have a third-party product like Ship365 that I know Bliss support as well. So if you want to do that, of course, have a dialogue with Bliss on how to use, you can say, our pack and ship functionality in connection with Ship365. But what I want to show you here is the information that I need to fill in to print out the freight label. So DHL needs to know what kind of box is it that we're shipping. It's a medium box. Then they want to know what is the weight of this box. Let's say it's 5 kilos. And that's it, because a medium box always has the same size. So now this is green, meaning that I fill out all the information that DHL needs for this. I do the same thing with the next box or pallet. I'll just call this a big box. It has a weight of 25 kilos. And here I need to confirm the length of this box or pallet. Let's say it's the 25 centimeters. The remaining thing I didn't need to fill out because that's also always pre-filled, so it always had the same measurements, so I don't need to put that in. So now both is green, meaning that's green light to go ahead. And once I click on post here, we communicate with Business Central. Business Central communicates with Shipit, and Shipit communicates, you can say, with DHL or FedEx or whatever carrier that you're using. So it's quite neat that you don't need to go into a different application to handle things, that you actually can do it here from the handheld device as well. There's a lot of more functionalities available here in Tasklet. Times is running up, so I briefly just want to touch base on some of them before you can put in some questions if you have that. We of course also have support for accounting. We can do a plan count where you use the physical inventory journal to do a count, so you don't need to have pen and paper to do all the registration. You can do it all digitalized here from the handheld device. We have the possibility to do unplanned count as well. So if you have an item that you want to count, you can do that straight away and post it immediately. Adjust quantity is where you want to do a negative adjustment and removing things from your warehouse with an explanation on why you want to remove this. Then they have the possibility to planned move. Normally we have customers who have like a pick zone and a buffer zone. So if the bins where you have the pick zone is reaching a certain level, you want to fill them up with new items. Then you can use the planned move orders to do a movement within the warehouse, and moving, for instance, in this case, these loudspeakers from this bin, which could be the buffer zone, to the pick zone, which is this one. So this is also something that is supported with Tasklet. We can do an unplanned move where you just take a high runner of the items, moving it from the back of the warehouse to the front of the warehouse. I can just show you quickly how that is done. So if I want to move this item, I can just scan my item. I scan the bin from where I'm taking it. I'm just moving one box and placing it close to the shipment area. and then I've moved this. So really simple to do a move with a handheld device. Again, imagine if you should do that with pen and paper, going back to a PC and doing the registration, then things is not live because there is of course some response time in order for you to do this. Here you can do it once you're handling the items. Bulk move is where you're moving everything from one bin to another. And we also have the possibility to do some lookup, so you can locate an item. You can do bin content as well. Let me just show you that. If I scan a bin, I can see all the items that's available here on this specific bin, and this could initiate that I'm doing a bulk move and an unplanned move, for instance. Finally, we have the production and assembly support for that. This is assembly to stock. So if you want to assemble an item and you want to do the registration of the consumption for this can be done here on the handheld. Similar with production, this is also something that can be done, both the consumption, but you can also register it output, and the time setting up the machines and the time spent doing the production process can also be registered. But these things, if you want to have more deep dive into this, please reach out to Bliss. We can set up a session for you, so you can say target the things that you have the most interested in and see how it fits into your business. So I think that was the conclusion from my side, showing you the possibilities of a handheld device, removing pen and paper, being digitalized in the warehouse, speed up the process, and of course use the barcodes to validate it's the correct thing that you're actually doing, handing the correct items to the customers, etc. So I don't know, Nikki, is there any question comes up that we need to have here before closing off the session, or yeah?
No, we do not. But I want to thank you for the great presentation of the solution. I will switch off to Dutch now. Ja, ik denk een hele mooie oplossing die echt goed past bij standaard Business Central. Heel gebruiksvriendelijk is en heel snel op te zetten is. Vanuit Bliss hebben we erg goede ervaring met de oplossing. Er zijn meerdere klanten die gebruik maken van de oplossing. En er zijn goede ervaringen in support en het gebruiken van de oplossing. Daarmee willen we graag het webinar beëindigen. We sturen de opname nog na. We wensen in ieder geval een hele prettige dag toe en bedankt voor het kijken.